underway. We can finally go ahead and kick off the Spring Split Final. The Telecom War, 8th one across any esport, starts right now.
Let us see where the priority goes. If you remember, KT's bans in Game 1 against Samsung really felt like they won them Game 1. It was Zyra, Ezreal, and Varus on the day. First pick Caitlyn, trying to really focus the bot lane. And KT have most impressed me when they've honestly gone to an old Deft staple, whether it was Samsung Blue or EDG, playing through the bot lane, getting Deft ahead. Remember, the 5 and 8 minute turrets in Game 1 and Game 2 of the semi-final unleashed the roaming, and so far the bans are the same. KT are going to try and focus the bot lane if they do copy that very winning success against Samsung. But remember, it's SKT. They know what to expect. They have been sitting for 3 weeks. They haven't even played on 7.6 because they've watched all the games develop, and they are known for their adjustments. They are never a team to launch out the window for the start of a new patch. They're much more traditionally about waiting and seeing and understanding the lay of the ground. And we look at the bans, it will not be double AD ban, but double support ban. And both Marta and Wolf have played a lot of Zyra and Karma this season.
Yeah, I mean, Karma, his most played there for Wolf, 13 games on that one. The Nami's still available, which is the second most picked, but Graves is the final ban away here from SK Telecom, so targeting out that top lane pull and then also taking one out of the hands of Score.
And it was a two-step process. It was basically getting Smeb ahead on carry matchups and setting up Deft and Marta to win bot lane. Was the way that KT overcame Samsung, with Pawn going even or better against Crown in the mid lane, a surprise on the day. You notice the AD Kennen ban from SKT. SKT have not played a single game of on-hit Kennen between Huni and Prophet. Now, they have both been practicing it in solo queue, but for Game 1, they're going to ban it away. Could definitely be a pick that comes up later. And with the support pool already down, 2 out of the top 4. It only feels like Tom Kench and Lulu, a big support champion still available. Lulu will be taken as the first pick on red side.
Yeah, this isn't one that Wolf has really been using specifically.
Oh, baby.
So much,
Undefeated Lee Sin.
There we go. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and lock this one in. So Peanut currently 9-0 on this Lee Sin. Gets his hands on it, and that's also a takeaway from Score, who's been performing very well with it as of late.
While it's a takeaway, Elise is available, Score's best champion traditionally in his career from the jungle, and it also opens up Pawn to go something like the Talon from the mid lane. The big story is if you can draft Elise, Zyra, Rumble, maybe even 2 out of 3, you get to really flex up and have an AD mid laner without damage fall-off. So Pawn now has some different imposing options. And speaking of options, we know that this is a flex pick for KT Rolster, so the double lockdown bot lane and point-and-click CC in general. I mean, Summoner Spell Cleanse doesn't help you against Malzahar, but already feels pretty required against Ashe and Elise.
Yeah, so already going to go ahead and start things off there. That Malzahar pickup, so it's going to give some ambiguity here for SK Telecom continuing in the draft.
They'll just take Varus, most likely at this pick. It's the strongest available AD carry, and they don't want to take a double AD carry ban. You'll notice that Caitlyn goes through picks and bans, even though it was a really big contested pick against Samsung, but maybe that said something about Ruler's champion pool. Now we're going through the second round of draft. No sign of top lane. Will we see the carry matchups that were kind of the story from Cuvée and Smeb? Obviously, Cuvée struggling against Smeb, one of the most flexible top laners when it comes to tank and carry top lane matchups. Or will we just see the traditional tanks? And it seems like SKT not interested in those carries.
Yeah, gonna go ahead and ban away the Gangplank. So SKT, we see what they want to go for. Nautilus still available. Maokai on the table as well, but a bit rarer these days.
It does feel like Nautilus priority has gone way, way down. It was overlooked by both Samsung and KT Rolster in the semi-final quite a lot until the final game where Cuvée jumped on it. Speaking of top lane, so far that's been the complete focus. Remember that Pawn will have to blind pick against the mid lane choice of Faker. Renekton banned as well, so many lane bullies are being taken off the lift. You look at Smeb's champion pool, a lot of Maokai, a lot of Shen, both of them available. It's looking like a very safe Shen draft if SKT won it as the first pick on the red side. That's the real big champion that sticks out. So will we see a Shen ban or Shen first pick from SKT? That's my first instinct from the ban so far in the second round.
Final ban comes through. It's actually going to be LeBlanc out of the mid lane. So Pawn, I mean, showed this one off just the other day, but we haven't really seen this from Faker.
It's a blind pickable champion that wins a lot and gets lane priority, and Pawn's lane priority was such a big thing against Crown. It wasn't something we expected. Now, Orianna and Ryze have been the biggest picks for both mid laners. Ori probably the most standard blind pick, and what does Smeb have available to go against Shen? He can just take Nautilus and go for a tank matchup. but they have had basically every pushing lane bottom taken away, except for the Jayce, which you can take. He's been practicing it in solo queue, 3-1 on the season, but this is definitely a Ninja Tabi into Sunfire, into outscale potential for the Shen.
Well, it still comes down to this last pick, because this could be that mid chase with the support Malzahar, so we still have to see what the final selection is going to be from KT.
Pawn hasn't found a lot of success on Jayce. That's why I don't mention it.
All right.
And so with LeBlanc gone, the blind pickable champion is Syndra. Now, Ahri has been an answer pretty traditionally, and Faker does play it. And we have seen other picks around the world. Piglet was loving the Karthus, of course, and that's an outside chance, even though we sin no Karthus. Or we could go super traditional with the matchup that's honestly being talked about a lot, especially in the interviews from Cloud Temper and Dongjun, our Korean casters, unless this would be a counter matchup from Yor, a much riskier choice than the Echo. But the kill potential in mid lane is suddenly there for Faker.
Oh, they're gonna go ahead, lock it in. Fizz for Faker in the mid lane. Not one we've seen from him in quite some time, but he's gonna bring it back. He's trying to make a statement here now.
And we've seen Fizz from SKT, but as it shows currently on the screen, it was a top lane Fizz coming through from Huni, with the teleporting knight. No sign of teleporting knight. Not going to be a mid lane Shen, even though Faker has played mid lane Olaf and all other manner of craziness in the mid lane. It's an old matchup, but certainly one that can work out. A lot of kill pressure here between Peanut and Faker. KT's best game plan has been an early gank top onto a squishy member. Now it's a Shen, so that's a lot more difficult. And then helping the bot lane. They kind of relied on Pawn to go even or better against Crown in the 1v1. And this one is different as the ARG's been souped up, and what an occasion for it.
Yep, gonna go all out for the final. So animated ARG coming through for you guys.
This to me tells us that KT prioritize pushing power in top over anything else. It is an obvious outscale matchup when it comes to something like the Ninja Tabi, shutting down the damage from both Ashe and Jayce. But KT want to allow Score to have the first rotation through the jungle. As man, even we have to smile. We saw these in the rehearsal. They still look damn badass.
It looks so damn good there on your screen, especially when the arena is filled in with the sold-out crowd.
Faker's first game on Fizz for a long time, but has been a pick he's liked in solo queue, has been a pick that he's brought out in and out of meta. It's a counter matchup to the Syndra, but in a different way to the Echo, kind of outstains. This is all about killing the Syndra.
It's gonna be a lot of outplays, gonna have to keep our eyes on the cooldown for that playful trickster. Faker going to need it to dodge out on those unleashed powers, on those scatter the weaks to keep himself safe. But after checking out all the members, all of the champions here in the game, let's go ahead and do just that. Get into it, get onto the rift for game number 1. The Telecom War starts right now. SKT 1 versus KT Rolster. Here we are. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Welcome to the 8th Telecom War in history. SKT maybe looking to start things off with a bit of a bang as they go for a full team roam into the jungle.
That's pretty on the nose. They do have a player named Bang, but I take what you're saying, and I think the draft also is pretty on the nose from SKT. Sure, Shen outscales Jayce. Sure, Fizz has a lot of kill pressure onto Syndra. But you don't need to be an analyst to notice the wave clear short of Varus and I guess Lulu is pretty limited on the side of SKT. So there is an element of risk where the snowball draft from KT could really hit their timings. Nice defensive ward put down, scouts out the roam from SKT. This does actually free up the 3 members on the top side to get some aggressive vision of their own. But you look at this draft from KT and you say, okay, mid lane priority early. As Huni's back is stopped, you say, okay, Smeb having push priority early in the top lane as well. That usually means that their jungler is empowered, and Score has had Peanut's number on many occasions, even if Peanut has had some good performances recently.
Oh, this could be bad. See 3 members here of KT sitting in around the Raptor camp on spotted here as Huni roams his way up.
Yeah, on
Score starting this off.
Now on patch 7.6 today, guys. Score's level 2 already.
gonna go ahead, gets that shield as he draws the blade to himself. Peanut's taking away the enemy red.
Completely thought it is patch 7.6 with Galio still disabled. I know LPL is currently on 7.7 and they had Galio enabled on 7.6. We are the same as NALCS and EULCS. It is no Galio today. No innovation from the patch, at least, for the grand final.
Consistent here. As Score also takes away that red buff. Peanut. A bit of a faster start here on the enemy side of the jungle. Can rotate down to the bottom lane very early if he finds an opening.
And while starting on the enemy side of the jungle sounds risky, remember both teams put down 3 wards in the enemy red side quadrant, and thus they actually had vision over the enemy side of the jungle. So vertical jungling, in many ways, was started as Peanut took a greedy exit route and thus takes almost all his health.
Yeah, he's going to go really low. One more shot would have taken him out. That's going to be a fast back after he kills off the Scuttle Crab. Some HP,
but not anything relevant.
Safeguard there, but yeah, not going to be enough for him to stick around and fight something like the Grom. So this is going to actually send him back to the base rather early, much earlier than you would expect or hope here for Peanut. But Smite is available. He could go ahead and use that to sustain himself in the jungle, maybe stick around for a little bit longer. But if Score were to counter jungle, it'd be almost certainly a first blood.
But given the camps that were started, it was very clear what was going to happen in terms of jungle pathing. There was no chance to find Score at the enemy Scuttle Crab, given he started enemy red and knew that Peanut was taking camps in his own jungle. So there was relative safety, even if the health bar didn't suggest it. And we saw also Score go for one of those wraparound Elise ganks like he did in Game 2 against Samsung, where they got the kill onto Cuvée that time. Remember, Huni's on a true tank. Pulling off those ganks in the top lane are much more difficult. So the snowball top into camp bot strategy that Score was really putting into place that felt very EDG-esque is not possible given the champion picks.
We're gonna have to find another avenue to approach to get his team ahead here. For now, just gonna be starting to resolve very slowly. Smeb, as you would expect, up in CS, 22-14 is the way to continue quacking into that tower. Huni is going to be struggling a bit. Same can be said sort of here from Baker, but he's keeping up rather well, you'd have to say.
Finally get to see Deft versus Bang & Wolf in the bot lane. Felt like it mostly went over the way of Bang & Wolf, who, short of their struggles against Ruler and Core JJ, have looked pretty peerless in the bot lane. They have the wave pushing advantage here, as Malzahar's relevance in lane at pre-level 6 with the nerf to Voidlings is certainly not massive. But it was Deft and Mada really stepping up against Ruler and Core JJ, often getting the early turret, often having a big CS advantage and forcing multiple backs pre-10 minutes. That was one of the biggest changes in the semi-final against Samsung. Getting those sort of advantages against Bang & Wolf, who can dominate lane, but made their name. Came from SKT T1S onto the SK Telecom joint lineup and made their name as being defensive laners to allow Faker and Marin to play aggressive. They're equally adept at playing defensive and aggressive, and for now, it's defensive side for SKT.
Yep. Visitation here to the mid lane.
He's already used Playful
Trickster, but Duke's back. Doesn't get caught out there. Will get stunned, but he's inside the brush, so keeps himself safe, at least for the moment. Flash still available there for the Fizz.
Nice gank timing, though, you have to say, from the Elise. Score always on point with those runs.
Well, meanwhile, the exchanges here in the bottom lane. Mana and Deft both going low. Bang not quite. Doesn't have the timer there for that piercing arrow, so can't get more damage down, but still very handily winning these exchanges.
They were definitely trying to twitch the heal at the last possible minute, or maybe bait out heal and have an advantage, but not used by Deft, who's always one of those steadfast summoner users. Harass War being won by SK Telecom, in the same side of the jungle. Could see some early skirmishes very soon.
He's roaming down. Tripod's not warded, so Peanut spotted at the moment here. Bang, silence. Sonic Wave comes out. Good check from Peanut. Does find Score. And stops perhaps what could have been a very botched dive under the turret.
And these are the developments that have happened with Peanut playing under Coma. That was Rocks Tigers Peanut, the blind check into the bloodthirsty cold at turret dive is what we'd expect, but Peanut over the course of the season has calmed down. Sure, we've seen Huni and Peanut go for some over-aggressive turret dives, but that was mostly 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. They've been a lot more controlled about how they use Peanut, and he is still a weapon with his insane mechanics. He's able to get through the early phase, which for now hasn't been punished like we should say Spirit and Score do in recent history.
For now, Peanut is looking to go ahead, tag a 5th straight win on that Lee Sin. Undefeated throughout all of spring would be pretty impressive, you'd have to say.
He's level 6, but he's at least cheating towards the bot side with the red respawn, which of course they have the exact timer for. One has priority in this lane. That's mid
That's
lane.
going to be Jump the Water's coming down. Flash away from one. It's locked up. Stand United there. And Huni gets the taunt. That's first blood. Going over to SKT, but now Smeb arrives on the backside of the TP. Huni flashing up, and he takes so much damage, and he will fall. His score is able to answer one right back. 1-1 on the board. Gold lead very slightly in the hands of KT.
But you have to say that Pawn losing both summoners and dying is a big cost. Syndra is only strong if she has lane priority, which she should. She has a pushing top lane, a pushing mid lane, and a jungler that could actually cancel out any control wards and get priority around mid, but that has not been the game plan so far for KT.
Here's Smeb pushing forward, gonna try to keep Faker away from these minions.
That's so close to level 6 as well. He'll have Telecom arrow, one more minion. There it is.
He does have it. You see Mana coming through, now level 6, the arrow comes down, locks up Bang. Overriping. Gets a shield on, Bang gets silenced, takes quite a bit of damage in the exchange, but overall walks himself out with both summoner spells still available.
Yeah, both bot laners are wondering what it will take to actually blow a summoner spell because both have been stubborn not using them.
It's a big game of chicken.
It is Bilgewater Cutlass already, so a lot of lifesteal available for Bang, who'll want to stay in lane, chug some potions to stay relevant. You can't see Mada's experience bar. Flash, Nethergrass can't be too far away.
Be rarely relying on those shields from Wolf to help mitigate the damage coming out.
And KT have regrouped around mid. 3 control wards around mid lane, 2 on the top side, 1 on the bot side, allows Pawn to overextend like you need to as a Syndra to have lane priority. If Syndra is ever second in lane control to Fizz, SKT have won the map hands down. But they're investing a lot to allow Pawn to still walk up. However, you're never exactly sure of the kill pressure of a Fizz. That full rotation onto a Syndra, especially with the barrier down, do a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah. See, blue buffs now just going to be handed off to both these mid laners. And snatches it off the wall. Gets that one off. Still plenty of wave clear there for him. Faker moving over. We'll go ahead and snatch this one up himself.
Let's talk about win conditions. There's a bit of a downtime in the game. We mentioned early, big wave pushing advantage for KT, especially in the early game. And that's the sort of thing that needs to be abused. It's a snowball draft from KT because they're facing triple teleport from SKT. And speaking of snowball, this is the timer.
Yeah, pop over the wall there, but Huni, he's wrapping back around. Stun comes through, they lock him down into the flash up the wall with the Q, and Score locks him in. No one else there to follow up. Huni gonna get knocked down to about half health, but now KT have the opening on this turret. It's already been chipped down pretty considerably. The bottom lane, not so much for SK Telecom. So first brick gonna go over to KT Rolster.
And that was the big story of the semi-final, getting first pick and rotating multiple members looking for catches. They have Malzahar, Ashe, Elise, Syndra. Their catch potential in a roaming gang squad a la OMG in Season 3 is massive. It's basically another freight train. So for now, SKT may be taking a cross-map objective, but you can never leave Jayce too long with a turret, although Bang does have free time in the bot lane.
Yep, go ahead to get that one down. Ocean Drake goes over to SK Telecom, but a 1.8 thousand gold lead accrued here for KT Rolster thus far.
And the best thing about casting the best teams in the world is you start talking about win conditions and you see them come to life on the screen. Trying to take a second turret.
Gonna be looking for another one.
Faker has to ult to even have any relevance here. Could have considered ulting the minion wave. They're waiting to see if there's an overstay. Stand United back up from Huni, but they get a lot of damage on the mid lane turret, and KT need to keep this pace. Late game, there will be nowhere for Syndra to safely farm or enter lane. Level 16 Fizz makes short work of the Syndra. There's a lot of people mid lane.
So it's going to be the playful trickster coming through here from Faker. 5 members now grouped up with KT. They will be able to take down this tier 1 turret, stretching that gold lead even further. But now, going to be looking for a pick, a kill if they can find it.
Great grouping from KT. Remember, it's Shen in the top lane. He can't push even when he knows it's free. He sees 5 members mid. He can overextend like all hell, but there's nothing he can do to push this early in the game with just a balmy Syndra. Backs away. The KT have got the early snowball objectives, but it feels like we're back into week 6 when we saw this matchup twice.
Jump the waters, coming through. Peanut jumps up the wall, they lock down on. They'll take him out. Peanut going into the resonating strike, comes up with a second kill here for SK Telecom. Still quite a ways to go, however, they get rid of the Syndra, but there's still 2,000 gold in the pockets of KT.
Clean pick. They didn't get spotted by any of the control wards, but only a pick. There's no other objectives to take from the big pick that came down. Wolf can get some aggressive vision, but nothing else to talk about. No way to get an answering turret. In the late game, I said triple teleport. Remember, it's even Fizz with teleport. So Syndra literally has nowhere to go. Look at this. The Q into the instant cast buffered ultimate max range. The most damage, all the backup. Very clean stuff from SK Telecom. The lane gank the only way they could avoid all the control wards that were put down. But in the late game, yeah, with the Fizz teleport, you need to get this big lead. So while it looks like KT is way ahead, they need to keep this up, because if it goes 35 minutes, their strategic options start to go away.
Well, the War of Attrition finally won there by Bang, causing out that chain of corruption. Finally gets the flash away from Deft. Waiting in the wings.
They had a
Certainly
ranking advantage for Bang as well.
Yeah, big item advantage here for him. As Deft still working his way towards it. Does have that recurve bow, so just a couple hundred gold away if he doesn't already have it in the inventory.
Smeb can only make the aggressive pushing you see because he has vision of the jungle in the bot. He has no coverage in topside at all, but still auto-attacking onto the inner tower. So good communication there.
Faker yet again, not getting locked down by that Camille. Away to safety, but Wolf gets locked down by the Netherground. Ashe comes through, locks him in. Mana getting hit up by the jump of the waters, but there's no way for SKT to try to pile in and finish him off. Does come
Telecom cancel.
Big shock flash, lands it onto Bank. He goes low, flash. Smeb won't find him with it to the sky. Now he's taking up the turret. Faker flashing away, finds a fadeaway kill. Can he make it out with his life? Dashes back in. On low on mana, the volley from the Ashe. Clipping Faker, he goes back in. Wants the kill, won't find it. The heal from there from Death keeps him alive. And that is just going to be multiple kills on both sides. 3-3 on the board as KT find 2.
Faker could have chosen to go more defensive. Remember, no way for Shen to get to this fight. Still about 10 to 15 seconds on the ultimate to stand united. Still very slow pushing from Shen. They're trying to take the third outer turret at 13 minutes into the game, and SKT, they're still waiting for stand united.
Wolf coming back in now, does have that wild growth. That's going to be enough for KT to go ahead and peel back Huni. Rock seeing the way.
Stand united's back up. Wait for that.
Have it available. TP still ways away, but for now, going to be happy with this one. KT trying to get a counter push moving here in this bottom side of the map. Get some more damage down onto that turret.
Jayce walking very safely, but here we go. We'll get the confirmation. There's no one there to potentially take him down. Answering turret for SKT, but just a single one. And no bonus objectives, no steal of the red buff, no extra control over the Drake. Item timing is good for Bang, who has a good CS advantage over the Ashe, but we're seeing KT be where they need to be, but no more. This is the minimum with this draft that KT should be happy with. Getting more farm onto Deft, and look at Born, who had to go super defensive itemization. Merctread Zonias is not going to be one-shotting anyone from full health. Doesn't have multiple spell rotations either, so mana regen is a concern, and maybe SKT will just adjust the draft and look to snipe Lulu because mana stays low.
When you can see those still taking quite a bit of damage in those exchanges.
Red buff really is just a bit awkward. Peanut Hooks not on screen right now.
I wasn't sure if he had to go up. They'll rescue Huni. The reset does come through. QSS picked up here for Bang, keeping himself safe.
Even more interesting.
Goodbye.
We see the Protobelt first from the Fizz. New itemization there. Scores on the Rift Herald, spotted out.
Yeah, the ward is over the wall. Down a half HP. Do they really want to put over this Rift Herald?
Ashe cannot get here, remember.
Faker coming in, dashes forward. Chug of Waters comes down. They get caught as well with the chain of corruption, but the Zonias will negate it all. Won't be able to make it out to the side. Just knows this, knows out that unleashed power. Trying to trade something back with just the Zonia's hourglass. Barely knocking that down to half HP.
Paul's known for his aggression, but the timing was poor. Ashe was in the ball. Never got
walking in, dashes away, takes a chunk left, stand united. The Netherground blocks him in, and he goes down. No Shen to arrive in time, getting rid of that Thunder Spell. Meanwhile, Deft pushing in the bottom lane, picking up more CS, takes out that tier 1 tower. Now all of the outers gone for SKT.
And KT with their snowball draft has continued to trade up, but it's been the minimum. It's been something, but it's going to be good to see.
Arrow is available, but
nothing to combo with either. No nether grasp there either. KT continuing on the clip, continuing the game plan that is the most successful for them. But every 5 minutes that passes with the gold lead, staying under 5,000 gold, we get later and later to Pawn's ultimate irrelevance in this game.
Well, that was the most meaningless trade. Go over the wall, gets rid of the blast code, I suppose, so no sneaky ganks coming in from score.
Wait, empowered auto attacks, and the blast gun interact has been shown by none other than Peanut and his Rengar.
Oh, good. He's hopping around like crazy. But for now, it seems like things are going to calm down. SK Telecom puts up very carefully, not having any of those outer turrets standing any longer. Only been able to get themselves the one turret in the bottom lane, mid, chip down a little bit here. Top lane, gonna be their best bet to put another on the board as Huni roxing those waves, working away at it as Smeb was TPing around the map. Just have it rather low. That'll help bring back in the gold, bring it in here for SKT.
When I was doing my research, I saw Prophet was prepping the Jayce in solo queue. Not a champion who's played it competitive yet. When it was selected in the last round by KT, you mentioned it to be flexed to mid. Horn has not looked great on the Jayce. It's been a Smeb legacy pick for a long time, but even win tricky matchups like the Jayce into Poppy with the Jayce pick. So it's a pick he's very comfortable on. It's not really a true flex pick for KT Rolster.
KT, you know what? We have all the outer turrets. There's no way for us to pressure those inner ones yet. Let's go ahead and go back to that Rift Herald and take it away. Hand it over to the score from the bump. You know, the second dragon to be Cloud. An ocean to start things off for us thus far.
And the SKT fans throwing their hands up in the air, asking where the Infernals and Mountains are at. On one hand, I understand. Remember also, they have 2 Drake stacks at 17 minutes, and they have triple TP, 2 teleports, and the Stand United. So setting up a scenario where they can actually take the Elder Drake in the late game is a very realistic one for them. So getting stacks is important, as Huni doesn't know.
Oh, you're gonna get locked down, straight into the Ashe already get it. Again, the chase CC from KT, looking fantastic, but he still has not gone down. The Wild Growth keeping him alive and far. Goes into that Sophie's Hourglass, but Baker is right on top of him, picks it out. Going into the back line, trying to finish off Mana. He's able to get it. Now looking for Smeb. He flashes over the wall towards the Croak, but Baker, hot on his heels, goes over with a playful trick to try to finish off the Jayce. Will get traded back as KT starts to kite with Deft. Won't be able to do so. Gets locked up, gets taken down. That's 3 kills over to SKT, only losing the Fizz.
And KT thought they had an opening when one did not exist. They attacked the member with Stand United, so they thought it would actually be the 4v4 they were looking for, but Jayce's teleport was quite late. They do not have a true team fighting comp. At the moment that Huni didn't die first, the pick comp hopes are kind of gone. And Baker jumps in, assassinates Marta in many ways, and during the teleport, the health bars start to come down. And we have the sort of comp that sure can get picks if they rotate, but isn't really set up for extended fights. And this was the extended fight KT was trying to avoid.
Yeah. A little bit more AP there from Baker. Might have won this exchange in on to Smeb and added yet another kill to the board. Deft, unfortunately, in no man's land, gets taken out, and now it's 7-5. Gold still in the lead here for KT, but it's starting to dwindle.
Thus it becomes, can SKT do SKT things? Draw out a game to 35 minutes where they have a team fighting comp and win team fights? The answer to that question is yes, assuming 35 minutes. But still, KT surprised us. Look at game 1 against Samsung, where I especially was waiting for the other shooter drop from KT. They kept pushing, they kept getting bonus objectives, and they took the game before Samsung's comp could come online. That is still a possibility for KT at 20 minutes. That's what we're waiting to see what their ultimate objective is. The inner turret they've to some degree prepped earlier is the big objective.
Well, Ashe now comes down, they find Wolf, they lock him in with the Cocoon as well, and he gets taken out by that shock blast from Smeb. Starting things off for KT. Gonna go ahead and completes the channel. Bond getting locked in as the Sonia's to deny. And Shove the Waters coming through, but the taunt is perfectly timed by Huni. They lock him in. Baker finds the kill, but he gets taken out, and Huni falls as well. 2 being traded back here for KT, only losing the Syndra thus far. And Smeb lands the shock blast yet again, gets rid of bang. 4 kills on the board, just Peanut left alive.
And that's what they were looking for the last time. They got the first pick, no wild growth, as Wolf dies first, and they stick the damage, holding on to the nether grass till Playful Trickster was gone. Let them take down Smeb. But Peanut's here, and he's pulled off some heroics around Baron before.
He's going to be trying to do it here. Again, the Cocoon not connecting Baron down to half HP, and Wolf sprinting his way over. Does have that wild growth available.
Is this the moment?
Trying to keep him alive. 2 HP last time here for score. They're actually just going to go ahead and back off the Baron. Very smartly played by KT. Do not want to throw away this lead that they've garnered for themselves. They play it smart, they play it safe, they peel back, and SKT will get nothing.
And on the one hand, completely agree. The smart move, no chance of a steal. Peanut has shown with his young man mechanics that he's always on the board with the smite steals. Score has had this before in a grand final against Peanut, but come back to the question of draft. Can KT afford to pull back when they get a 4-for-1 from trying to take down a Baron that might have actually allowed them to close with their early to mid-game focus comp? If they get another 4 kills, it can make me look silly. But there's also something about windows in League of Legends, and if you don't creep open through a mostly open window and wait for it to be fully open, that window may never come.
Well, KT not wanting to opt into that 50-50 smite situation. They will lose that tier 1 turret finally here as Victor goes and pushes up in that top lane. Zonia's of his own now, so Fizz going to be staying alive quite long throughout these extended skirmishes.
And now, actually, I think KT need to get some more sweepers, some more Oracle's lenses, and start clearing out vision, because the vision is starting to mass for SKT, and this Wombo engage comp, which needs Malzahar to be there to really cement kills, needs to actually come largely unseen, and that's becoming more and more difficult. So only 2 Oracle lenses. I think they need a 3rd, and even then, the control wars need to be pushed up, because for now, pulling off this sort of comps is difficult.
He'll jump the waters, does find Deft. Zimata tossing out those boilings, and so much damage on the backside of that Shark, plus the piercing arrow. Deft goes low. Feel the need to pop the heal. Just gonna go ahead and recall out of here, but this could be a mid lane turn perhaps conceded over to SK Telecom. They have the pushing power here from Bang. They're fairly grouped up. Stand United is available for Huni, but it seems like they're going to play this slowly and methodically. They have been going even or close to in these fights, even with the gold deficit, so SK Telecom is going to try to extend things.
We had Score versus Peanut in the summer final last year. There was a graphic from OGN to highlight the differences in Elise builds for the 2 players. Score was always tank Elise. We see that again here. And the reason why I pointed out is that those just about kills where they layer Ashe arrow into Malzahar, some magic resist comes in and the damage fall up will be there for KT Rolster. So those picks, if the Wild Growth comes through from Wolf, maybe he doesn't die and actually allow there to be 4 picks in the bot lane. So it gets more and more difficult to pull off. And that's why these smart map movements are the percentage play for KT.
Here we go, gonna go ahead and knock down by the look of it. His first inner turn to the bottom side of the map, nothing that Huni can really do with the Tiamat not clearing things out fast enough. So they go ahead and get rid of this one, and KT is already wrapping around towards the mid lane. Gonna get that push, stopping SKT from grouping up around the Baron.
They don't have any vision of this area. They're not face checking it just yet.
Bang walks forward, tosses out one, won't be able to find much. We're not gonna find a flash forward here. In onto Baker, the Wild Growth comes down. He's barely alive, but he finally falls. Can't stay up. Huni comes in with that Stand United, dashes forward, gets a lockdown on the score, but nobody else is there. He's just isolating himself and has to flash over the wall, going deeper into KT's territory.
What's next for KT? Really nice pick, just the damage to take down Faker. But they have already shown they are not ready to go for Baron. When Peanut is alive, they'll start the push in mid lane. Good pick from KT and good understanding to have no one face checking the brush, and the only angle that a team full of members of SKT could have entered.
Keep their heads above the water, and they're going to stop that dragon stacking coming through from SKT as they pick up their own.
Ocean Dragon. Come on, I got it. Yep, pat on the back there, Helios.
It was actually on it. We'll take another look at this fight.
So no one face checks, and Bang kind of skips a beat by going forward, and not a flash ult, but he's never sure if the damage will register. Look at the redemption coming through, doesn't register half a second or less away, and then all SKT can do is run in different directions. They don't have any engage left. Bang is not going to be getting kills, and you can see the frustration from Faker. We are talking about less than half a second away from maybe that team fight turning around.
Yeah. No Zhonya's used from him either.
Couldn't. He was suppressed.
Yep.
Wasn't able to get it off.
Maybe half a second at the end of that. Maybe he was trying to just wait for the redemption heal to come in. Doesn't work out in his favor, and now it's just going to be a 3,000 gold lead sustained by KT.
This is the phase of the game which I wondered about. 25 minutes in, double teleport up for SKT. What does Fizz in the sideline look like? Because we wondered where Syndra would go when she had to deal with poor lane assignments. It's only so much a flash barrier Syndra can do against mid to late game Fizz. Score standing on a control ward, so knows he's spotted. But right now, KT don't have the same tools unless they make some more picks.
Wrapping around here, waiting in the sidelines, but no real way to get in on top of Deft. KT just maintaining control of this upper side of the jungle. They'll start getting that wave moving and maybe look for that inner turret and top. SKT, 26 minutes now into the game. Still struggling to knock down that last outer turret in the mid lane. Just eluded them thus far. Both sides, maybe a little bit of a standoff here, so just try to clear out the vision. Do so, and we'll go ahead and go their separate ways.
Almost turrets mean so much when you have these poke comps like KT put together. Pick, and again, mostly about the siege is where they're perhaps strongest with the long range engage and poke from the Jayce. Bot lane in or down, but nothing else, so SKT trading farm with KT, like you see on the screen, is advantage SKT for now.
Being able to trade anything very much for SKT.
So the question is, what should KT do? And the question is, force some of these teleports. They need to actually force there not to be a 3 teleport advantage. Smeb's caught.
Yep, flashes away, won't get locked down by that chain of corruption. In the last fraction of a second that he could have done so, gets himself out to safety.
Bang will check the items twice, see no Mercury treads, and wonder how that didn't
Oh,
register.
Ashe arrow comes through, Peanut dashes straight into it, gets locked down by the scout of the week. Not taken out yet, the one keeps him alive, takes her to the backside, gets rid of Mana, the kick comes through, knocks up Deft, and he has to heal himself to get him out to safety. Faker coming up with the double, finishes off Pawn as he comes out of the Zonias. Now they're chasing it, they're looking for the Ashe, looking for that Alpaca. If they can find him, Faker goes through. Get that play to the Rune King here. Coming in to try to delay him, but there's just nothing that Deft can really do, and he's still getting chased on. The Polymorph comes out, the Sonic Wave misses, but it doesn't matter. He still gets taken out the delayed. Triple kill coming through for the Fizz. SKT perfectly set up for the Baron.
Big mistake from Deft there. He turned around when he was free out, flashed the damage from the Q, which is now possible after the Fizz changes about a year ago, and went down. Now it's SKT on the Baron. The score is alive, but they're going to turn.
Smeb nearby as well. Baron down below half HP, trying to poke out where he can. Gets a nice little hit in on the bank. Redemption comes through. They won't be able to find him. Some of the water's back up. Gets rid of Smeb mid to the skies. Takes him out now. Score. Can he be the hero? Dodges out on the taunt. Comes down from the repel into the pit. Does finish off Peanut, making this a bit of a 50-50. Tosses out the smite. Won't find it. Just not low enough. This could just get finished off by SKT. Looks like that is going to be the case. Baron over to SK Telecom, 28 minutes in. They have a gold lead, and they're starting to swing this game around.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned Swing. We talked about pendulums and having enough damage to register a pick. That time came where KT couldn't, and there's nowhere for Syndra to go. It doesn't matter if she has Zonias and both summoners, she will be cleaned up. Jayce had to cancel teleport because of the quick fix. We finally are going to see the replay of about 2 minutes ago. They really wanted Wolf. They ended up getting Peanut, and through the Shen ult, they did not have the damage. And you can see Faker in the backline, wrecking face. Jayce has to cancel teleport because he knows he'll just be turned onto. And then Pawn's not going to be able to buy enough time. And when you have the ability to weave in and out of taking Baron with turn and damage like SKT has, the Baron's a lot more straightforward, even though Score was able to take out Peanut.
Now the turrets can start falling away. SKT can pick up that standing goal and extend this lead even further.
First lead of the game for SKT. Remember, KT predictably with their draft. Played it well in the early game, but we saw this so many times in the Telecom Wars in the regular season. There was a lot of element of risk early for SKT with their low wave clear. Guess what? Wave clear doesn't matter when you have Baron.
No, it does not. That's going to be the inner turret going down to the mid lane. SKT, full control of the game, shifted over to them in a matter of minutes. KT continuously trying to get those fights to force them out, costs them in the end. And it might just cost them game 1 in this Telecom War, 8th that we've ever seen in a final.
Between esports, remember, we've seen 2 in League of Legends, both of them going the way of SKT. The first, the famous Ryu versus Faker, Zed versus Zed final game, Rip Blind pick, thanks Riot Games. And the 3-0 just 2 years ago in the 2015 summer final, the last with Marin in the top lane for SK Telecom in their almost peerless summer season. Other games have been more kind to KT Rolster, but League of Legends and Score in particular, it's been a big struggle. The only KT win in a final was KT Rolster Arrows, and you can check that lineup twice. There was no Score on the lineup that day.
Now Score, the pressure on, try to turn around this game number 1, 13-11. It has been a bit of a bloodbath, as Huni said we could expect. SK Telecom grouping up in the bottom lane. Huni waiting in top, has the TP, has his hand united. He'll be able to go ahead and solo split push down that tier 2 turret. One more inner standing now in the bottom lane. Peanut is going to go ahead and pick up the 3rd Ocean Drake of the game.
The formation from SKT when they were going for that turret in bot lane was really sound. You look at the members and you're like, okay, how do we recreate Ashe Arrow into Malzahar Ultimate? Who's the target? Hasn't been banging, got a very early QSS. Getting Faker is going to be difficult. So Wolf has been the person they've wanted, but Wolf was behind his carries, even though Lulu, especially in lane phase, is known for pushing up. There was no free target for KT, and the global pressure is too much with the Baron buff. The gold lead now 3,000. KT didn't really exceed a 3,000 gold lead, even in their acceleration phase. And now it's going to take the pick to end all picks to swing the pendulum back for KT Rolster.
I mean, this is where you're really wondering if you're KT, like, should have stuck to that Baron earlier on in the game. Maybe we should have just committed to it, gone for the 50-50.
The hindsight factor is so real. You cannot criticize beyond a point. I can only mention, drafted for early game, got 4 kills. If you're pulling off Baron, it seems like it's a muddied call. It seems like something that needs to happen, whether that means actually setting up behind the Baron to stop the steal from coming through, or going for the completion and trusting in score, going for neither and going back and then eventually losing the game. You can only really be frustrated about your own play. It wasn't an SKT factor, it was a KT mental game, and maybe they psyched themselves out.
Like I said, still playing it safe. They did the measured approach to that.
But why not play it safe by taking a tank in the top lane?
Sometimes maybe you just have to roll the dice a little bit.
You could take a tank in the top lane and not play a pressure draft and not look for specific timings, but that isn't the KT Rolster way. And until today, I will tell you that pulling off that Baron was not the KT Rolster way either. They've made the adaptation. Over the course of 5 games, it may be vindicated. Hell, over the course of this game, it may be vindicated, but it's allowed SKT back in.
Show the water's not going to connect. SKT continue to just rotate down towards that bottom side of the map.
This is the part where Smeb can't do damage.
They lock him in. Smeb going low, the Wild Growth top up. Deft should come through, just keep Smeb alive at least for the moment. Gonna go ahead and have to kite back. The flashes down from the Jayce, and SKT can just start moving up this wave. The Baron buff long since expired. We will not have those empowered minions. Still start sieging up around this last inner turret.
Smeb has an itemized to try and take down. Shen doesn't have the last whisper. And we're watching Huni being unkillable with only a single armor item. Admittedly a lot of health, but only a single big armor item in the Ninja Tabi. Goal wasn't spotted, but...
Yeah, standing on a control ward, so no real way to note Elise is there. He's going to recall on top of the control ward. There we go. Get it out.
That's why you see the lane assignment change. Pawn enters lane against Huni because there's no point for Jayce to be in a lane against a full tank Shen without a last whisper, and even then, the value is questionable. It falls short about a single teamo, Kilios.
It's pretty close. Faker's been really on point with these Shum the Waters. Last 2 coming up short, not having those connections. SKT, they still have the pressure. They still are sitting in the driver's seat here for game number 1.
Do they have the map pressure? First answer is no. Feels like SKT run the map in terms of options, have that double teleport we've spoken about a lot. We see 2 members of SKT in top lane. Peanut will regroup because he doesn't have a global like Faker, but they have a Lich Bane Fizz. They already took the inner turret with Shen and the Baron buff. Fizz certainly doesn't need a Baron buff to take this the inhibitor turret.
There's not very deep TP coming through here inside the Wolf Pit. Spotted and actually gets canceled right at the last second. Faker, knowing that he would be all on his lonesome, even with a Zhonya's, likely not to make it out of that one alive. So cancels that one out. Refund coming through as the top lane moving, but still another tool that SKT will not have.
A big one, honestly. Not allowing them to have double split pusher for free is a big factor. Smeb, you know, he's mad about Huni. He's doing some damage.
He's shipping him down very steadily. Maybe their redemption coming through should put a stop on it. Nice little trade there for Smeb. You can see that E, that percentage HP damage really doing work for the Jayce.
Yeah, with absolute free time, maybe I have to eat my words a little bit. No last whisper, but chunked him down. But you could tell Huni could at any point have gotten out. He was just not wanting to use flash. He was just trying to occupy time as long as possible as well. We picked up Faker's Fishes in the last 3. He's gone missing. No waggle of the finger just yet. It's a difficult ability to hit, especially when you're in vision.
Very much Peanut now, very far forward. Gets the kick away here on the score. Get locked down by that Nethergrass.
Double Guardian Angel, Lulu, a QSS, and basically kill Fizz or fail as Smeb face checks Faker.
We're talking about the Fizz. Smeb taking so much damage. Redemption comes down, pops him back up. Landing in onto Huni. Smeb trying to kite his way out of this one. Wildgrowth comes in, pops him up. He goes down as Peanut finds the kill of Deft on the other side of the fight. Inside the movement, gets taken down by Fang. Double kill, goes over to him and scores, just tries to follow up with one, but KT Rolster are dropping like flies. Pawn, the only one alive, all on his lonesome in the mid lane, and SKT, they're gonna shatter the base.
Smeb face checked Faker, and then all the good options were gone. We actually saw Deft flash for a kill because he knew there was no exit route. The game will probably end in this particular spot. SKT, they had the options, they waited for their time, and their time is now.
Yeah, Huni keeping him locked in. The first Nexus turret goes down. SKT, they're gonna go ahead and complete it right here. Game number 1. Rocky at the start when they fire back. Their superior team fighting coming out on top yet again. And SKT start off this best of 5, the spring final 1-0.
And this is an easy one to tell your friends about if they missed game 1. First of all, tell them to watch the VOD. But second of all, KT drafted for the early game, the pushing lanes, and in general did exactly what they needed to when we got to 35 minutes. We saw a single mistake, and you don't get to make mistakes when you have a comp like KT's.